Okay, here goes. Hello, welcome to the Etiolated Outfitter. My name is Tia, and I invite you to join me on my sewing journeys that I am now commencing. As my channel name suggests, I am an avid designer and maker of clothing type objects, and I am embarking on a deeper connection with the clothing that I plan to wear in the future on a more regular basis. I have a great love of Victorian era fashions ever since I was quite young, reading the Little House on the Prairie books and other period fiction and non-fiction. However, those fashions can be a bit odd to wear in the truly historic way these days, so my aim is to modernize the styles that I want in order to be a little bit less conspicuous, as I want to be able to use them in everyday life. The channel name also suggests I have some physical disabilities as well as sensory issues that make it difficult to wear the historical clothing as they would have done in the past. I have arthritis and I often need bracing and splints in order to deal with daily life, and I don't think I could handle the weight and bulk of the truly historical clothing. And I really need comfortable clothing that isn't too restrictive or needing to be constantly readjusted and sorted out. So I'm generally in some amount of constant pain, so any extra annoyances that I can remove from that is obviously going to be a bonus, but I do still want to dress nicely, so I'm hoping to be able to create a sort of unique combination for a historical look with well put together clothing that is also conducive to making my disabilities less of a problem, or at least won't make them worse. I've been following a couple of historical clothiers who I'm sure anyone interested in historical costuming are already quite familiar with, and that is Kathy Hay and Bernadette Banner. And they have very much inspired me to finally really dive into making better quality clothing for everyday use, things that will last and made of better materials and in better ways than the kinds of things that you just can buy at Walmart. And having some fun with my creative juices in something that I've always had a lot of interest in. So to get started, I am planning to work from the skin out, as they say. I am starting with a couple of braces or splints, since they are the bane of my existence, aesthetically speaking. Pretty much all store-bought braces are these, functional but pretty ugly contraptions that are better suited to workout clothings and activities than a proper middle-class Victorian lady. So for everyday at home, they're kind of okay, or for dirty work, but when I go out or I'm dressed up at all, they stick out like the sore thumb that they're supposed to be supporting. So I am designing some things that are a little bit prettier, but hopefully still as supportive and functional as their store-bought counterparts. And I'm going to start with the wrist brace, since it seems like probably the easiest one to begin with as far as what I need. And once I get that perfected, I want to do a knee brace and then move on to some back support / shoulder support corset type thing, which will be quite the task to get to look at all historical and yet do everything I wanted to without a bunch of bulky buckles and things like that, because obviously they did not have zippers or Velcro. Words are not happening. Velcro and things like that, and elastics to kind of hold things in place. So I'm probably gonna have to make a few little compromises in there to make it still comfortable enough, but still kind of at least have the look that I'm going for the corset undergarment bits. And once I get those patterns designed and made, my hope is to continue with alterations on historic undergarments, and then for on top, a capsule wardrobe that will be a modernization of some of my favorite looks of the circa Victorian era, and probably at least a couple pieces of outerwear that will be able to go along with it, since I am in Canada and we have very cold winters. So all that said, I invite you to please join me on my next video, where I will go into my thoughts and designs for a pretty wrist brace. And I also invite you to please like and subscribe down below, and comment if you are also a disabled fashion diva, and tell me what you struggle with most when it comes to balancing looking nice with staying functional and comfortable within the restrictions and confines of your disability. So until next time, I wish you happy sewing.